Good morning. This is Pastor Emily here, and I want to show you something. Oops, not that. That's my grandmother's sewing cabinet. I keep all my special little treasures on it, but that's not what I wanted to show you. And that's Cleo. Cleo keeps me company while I'm working from home, but she's not what I wanted to show you either. And that's my desk. That's where I do all my work when I'm working from home, but that's not what I wanted to show you either. And there's the chair, where I'm going to read you a story in just a minute. But first, I want to show you something. Are you ready? It's right over here. Look. Do you see them? It's the Alleluias. All of our Alleluias have come back. And that means it must be Easter. So I have a story to share with you today. It's a very special story. Can you all see it? It's the story of the mystery of Easter. And if you go to the link in the caption on this video, you'll be able to print out your own story of the mystery of Easter. And as you can see, it's actually also a coloring book. So when you print it out, you'll be able to color all the pages for yourself. But first, listen to the story. There are 3 great holidays in the year for Christians: Christmas, Easter, and Pentecost. Ouch! Ooh, that one's hot. That must be fire. Ow. I wonder which of these holidays we're celebrating right now. I hope that everyone said Easter. For some people, Easter means the Easter bunny and eggs. For some people, Easter means candy. And for some people, Easter means that spring has come. But I wonder if you know the story of the mystery of Easter. It's the most important story that Christians tell. Are you ready for it? The story of the mystery of Easter starts all the way back at the very, very beginning. And in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The Word was in the beginning with God, and everything was created through the Word. The light and the water, the land, the sun, and all the plants. Creatures that fly, and creatures that swim, creatures that walk on 4 legs, creatures that walk on many legs, and creatures that have no legs, and creatures that walk on 2 legs, people like you and me. Everything was created through the Word, and nothing was created without the Word. In the Word was life, and that life was the light of the world. Not the light of the sun, not the light of a candle, not the light of a light bulb, but the light of God, that all the light in the world comes from. That light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot put it out. The light of God came into the world, but even though the world was created by him, the world did not know him. He came to his own people, but his own people didn't recognize him. But to everyone who did recognize him, he gave the power to become part of his own family, not children of human beings, but children of God. The Word of God became a human being and lived on earth with us. His name was Jesus. And as a human being, he said such wonderful things and did such amazing things that people followed him wherever he went. Sometimes he seemed like a prophet, and sometimes he seemed like a teacher, and sometimes he seemed like an ordinary carpenter's son. And some people thought he was wise, and some people thought he was crazy. But they all hoped that he was the person the prophets had said was coming, the one who would lead the people of God to freedom. So they kept listening to him. Love your enemies, Jesus told them. And some people wondered if they could possibly have heard right. Do good to those who hate you. Bless the people who curse you. Pray for the people who hurt you. If you only love the people who love you, Jesus asked them, are you different from anyone else? If you're only nice to the people who are nice to you, and if you only give things to the people who give things to you, what makes you special? Even mean people give presents if they expect to get a present in return. Well, by now, there was a whole crowd of people gathered around him. You are the people of God, Jesus told them, and God gives the light of the sun and the water of the rain to everyone, whether they love God or not. You are the people of God. Be like God. Love even the people you don't like. Be kind and give to people, and don't expect to get anything back. The people were amazed. Slowly they realized that Jesus was teaching them a whole new way to live. But it sounded hard. It sounded confusing. It wasn't what they were expecting. And it didn't sound like he was going to gather an army and lead his people to freedom after all. And so the people who followed him were disappointed in him. And the rulers of the people were afraid that he was trying to steal their power. So on Thursday, soldiers came and took Jesus away. And on Friday, they killed him. No one quite knew why they wanted him to die. On Friday afternoon, Jesus died. And in the evening, they took his body down from the cross and buried it in a cave called a tomb. And they rolled a great stone over the door of the cave to close it like a door. And on Saturday, it was so quiet you could almost hear the earth breathe. On Sunday, it was the women who had followed Jesus, who were brave enough to go to the tomb, to be close to him. They wanted to remember him, even though it was sad. But when they came to the tomb, the stone had been rolled away from the entrance, and the tomb was empty. Jesus' body was gone. Mary from Magdala burst into tears. She thought somebody had stolen Jesus' body. Who would do something like that? But while she was standing there crying, she heard someone behind her. She turned and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't recognize him. Jesus said, "Woman, why are you crying?" Thinking that he was the gardener, Mary said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, please tell me where you took him." Jesus said, "Mary." And suddenly she knew who he was. "Teacher!" she cried, grabbing onto him. "Don't grab onto me," Jesus said. "My work is not done yet. But go and tell all the others the good news that I am alive. I will go ahead of them to Galilee, and they will see me there." Well, Mary and the other women ran to the other disciples and cried, "We have seen the Lord!" And they told them everything that he had said. Well, now everyone was more confused than ever. Jesus was not in the tomb. The women said that he was alive and that they would see him again. What did that mean? What was going on? Jesus had died on the cross, but somehow he was still with them. At least the women said so. Jesus died more than 2,000 years ago. But somehow, he is alive, and he is still with us today. Because Jesus is the light of God, that all the light in the world comes from. And that light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot put it out. And that is the mystery of Easter. So I wish all of you a very blessed and very, very happy Easter today. May God go with you all of this week and all of this season and forever.